Hi, Thomas. Right. How's the squad looking after the weekend? And of course, you said that you'd probably have an update on Destiny by now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Destiny have a hamstring injury. So he's out for the next 4 to 5 weeks.
And rest of the squad
Um,
from Saturday. Sorry.
the squad is available from Saturday. Is available. Yeah.
I know the post-match was dominated by Christian Romero's red card. It's been dominating the radio and the TV since. Gary Neville's called him a reckless liability. Tim Sherwood says he's unreliable. He's your captain, though. For you, is he a leader or a liability now?
I think it's a couple of things. Of course, answer this question, but then I think we've spoken enough about Romero last two press conferences. For me, I think he's a leader. I said it before. He's a young leader, so he's learning every day. I used the example. I remember when I was 30 years old, I thought I was on top of the world. I was nowhere near the level I am today in terms of leadership and understanding things. And then when you have a player that is playing with so much passion and aggressivity, then sometimes things like that can happen. That's not said that he shouldn't learn from it. Of course, he needs to learn from it going forward.
Results away from the United game has meant Spurs have dropped down to 15th. Some are suggesting Spurs are now in a relegation battle. Are Spurs in a relegation battle?
There's no doubt we're desperate to win games, desperate. And I'm focusing on Newcastle tomorrow. That's a great opportunity ahead of us against a good team. That's the main thing. That is, can we go out there and get 3 points tomorrow? That will be very good, and then climb from there and look forward. That's what we need to do, and that's the main focus.
Yeah, the term "too good to go down" is often used, but you've got a lot of players out, a lot of quality out. Romero's now out for 4 games. Do you think you've still, with your available players, got enough to get away from this?
Yeah, I think we have. Of course, there's no doubt that there's a lot of players out. That of course never help. But I think I actually put a very competitive team out against Man United, and I think we look very good for the first 30 minutes. We lose 2 players for tomorrow, but Spence is back. And I think Dragusin looked good when he come back in. So I know we'll put a very competitive team out tomorrow as well. And then there should be hopefully a little bit more after that coming back. But let's see.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hi Thomas, I know you've said you've spoken a lot about Christian Romero, but when you say learning from the red card, is it about learning how to play with that edge, having that aggression in his game, but obviously not getting sent off, not getting those accumulation of yellow cards as well?
Yeah, it is. And again, it will be super to focus on the available players for tomorrow and for the next 4 games. But no matter what we do in life, we need to learn from it.
Eddie Howe was speaking this morning ahead of the game tomorrow, and he said this is the toughest moment of his Newcastle tenure. Mickey van der Ven spoke to us on Saturday after the game, and he said this is a massive game for Spurs. We need to perform. So, given the winless runs for both sides tomorrow, are you expecting an intense battle? And from your point of view, does it have to be a battle from your players to get that result?
I think every Premier League game is a battle. If someone don't understand that, then they shouldn't play in the Premier League. It's the most physical, competitive, relentless league in the world, no doubt about that. So every game's a battle. So that will not change tomorrow. Newcastle are very physical, very intense in the way they play, and Eddie is a coach I admire a lot. What he's done in Newcastle, he came in there for 4.5 years ago, I think the first year when I was there with Brentford, so followed them closely. He, in my opinion, basically been part of transforming the club. So made sure they didn't go down. Then the next year when they had no European, I think they finished 4th. And then you can see how even that they have second year of experience in terms of Champions League. You can see it's not easy to play Champions League and Premier League. And I think they have 4 points more than us, and they have been with that project worked with that for 3 or 4 years. That just and he's a very good coach, and there's a very good coaching team up there that I admire a lot what they do. So it just shows it's not so straightforward. There's no how can you say recipe for you just do this and you do this and there's success every year no matter what you do. No. It's every day and relentless how you work with things, how I try to improve it. So I think they've done fantastic up there.
And just one for after the game tomorrow, how do you plan the team schedule? Because of course you're not in FA Cup action, so will there be time off for the players, or is that dependent on the result tomorrow?
No, I'm a big believer that you need to plan the time for everyone involved. And I also think there will be training, but also be some days off, especially international guys haven't had a day off since we started the season in August. So that mental refreshness is important as well. And then of course there'll be a lot of training. Yeah.
Hi Thomas, I need to ask how you are.
I'm good, thank you.
I'm very interested by the word desperate that you used before to a question about tomorrow's game. You said we're desperate for a win. Can you elaborate on what that means in terms of, is it desperate for the confidence? Is it desperate so we get 3 more points and we move away from the relegation zone? Is it desperate because you haven't won at home much this season?
Could have worded it differently, maybe. But I actually think there's something in it. It should be that feeling. It should be that feeling when we haven't won enough. So the way I work, we're all different. Is that if you haven't how can I say won enough, or you haven't done, then you do everything you can, and you actually do a little bit more. You work a little bit harder. You just know that's the way out of a tough moment. So that's what I expect from the players, and I actually think that's what I see from the players. I think they run very hard, and I think. That's why I'm so annoyed that we couldn't get anything out of the Man United game, because then it would have been 5 games, and I'm convinced 11 against 11 we would have got something out of it. Of course, you never know, but there were 5 games with positive, and then we could, really try to turn a corner. And of course, when you haven't won enough, you need to be desperate, because if you're not desperate, you don't understand, how can I say, the situation you're in terms of don't win enough, you need to turn it and win enough football games. That's what we want for the fans. That's what we want for the team, for the club.
See, I can see your passion there, your body language, the way you used your hands, banged on the table. Are you getting enough of that when your team crosses the white line on a Saturday afternoon or a Tuesday or Wednesday? Are you getting the sort of real oomph from them, do you feel, that I'm seeing now from you in a press conference?
I think I do. What I say, because there's always small ups and downs and in games and where there's different momentum. But I really mean what I've said. I've said that quite a few times. Not everything's been perfect, but the ability to run and fight from the team in the last 11 games has been very, very good. And especially in some tough moments. I keep referring to some second halves against Bournemouth, Villa and West Ham, and now lately Man City. And actually Man United. It's so easy to crumble when it's tough and it's not going well, and there's scrutiny and there's everything else. You just see a team that was fighting and running hard away to Man United, and we get going down 1-0, and they kept going. So I think I see a lot, and sometimes for whatever reason, it just sometimes takes a little bit longer, and then you just need to do a little bit more to make sure that everything you do is more to make sure you can get the 3 points.
Finally, the role of the fans. We all know supporters are vital. We all know that, especially since COVID, when players had to play without fans and then they came back in. But I've been to a lot of Premier League grounds this season where results have gone against the home team and they boo. And we've asked you before about Spurs fans booing and making their frustrations known. But how much do they need to have patience now?
I can say we desperately need them, because when you are in a situation where it's not going straight forward, you need the fans even more. So we need the fans tomorrow massively to back the team. And when when they do that on the highest level, and of course we need to perform or we need to prove. If they see a team that's running and fighting and giving everything, then do everything to help. And when they do that everything to help, it just creates those magic moments. And I refer that to the City game, but also the Dortmund game. That was fantastic to be there, and that we need tomorrow. Because of course, when you a little bit down to the bare bone, not that many players, it's not that straightforward, it's maybe not as confident the team and all that, then we need to push together. Thank you.
Hi there, Thomas. Just want to check on a couple of players. Kevin Danso, how's his toe? And also Decki Kulusevski, you had to leave out your Champions League squad. Are we to presume that means he is still feeling pain in his knee?
Kevin, he met the consultant. It's going forward. It's still weeks before he's available. Decki got another appointment the end of this week where we will know more. But of course, without the Champions League squad is a sign of that it's not tomorrow.
You think you'll have him before the end of the season?
Don't know.
Okay. The fans do fear that they're in a relegation battle right now. That's what the general consensus is. Do you have the players that can get you away from this kind of area of the table? And because I was looking through some of the players, and there's actually quite a few that have been relegated at various clubs. So are they up for this kind of battle?
Yeah, but as I say, I focus on the game against Newcastle tomorrow. That's the most important thing. And can we get a good performance out there and get 3 points, then we will start to climb, and that's what it's all about. We need to climb, and every year, every day, we need to climb the table until you are where you want to be, and there's only one place where you want to be in the future. So that's the main focus.
One thing I was going to ask you, you're a very kind of straightforward guy in his press conferences. You talk kind of very honestly. I remember back to your first press conference, you said, we will lose matches. And I don't know if you're aware, I feel like it's become a bit of a theme, maybe among fans more than anything, that's the tone of the season, that Spurs will lose matches. Do you regret kind of starting off your 10 years kind of talking in that way, even though it was kind of a reality that people have to face up to?
No, I don't know what you know. You refer to my press conference. The rest, obviously don't know. But I have no point in. I think there's two things. It needs to be the nice combo between reality and selling hope, and that's a fine balance. I haven't expected us, I have no. How can you say? I knew it would be a tough season. I didn't expect it to be as tough as it's been. So I think that's down to injuries, down to margins, down to a lot of things. You can say 2 red cards after 30 minutes, and that's not what you plan for. A lot of season you go through a season with 0 red cards. So it hasn't been straightforward. I know where I want to go, and I see a lot of good things going on as well, and that just is, how can I say, is not as positive when you don't win the games.
I think that's just the contrast, is that maybe they've had other managers that come in and promise or wanted to win trophies. Had a former manager this week talking on a podcast about this club should be aiming for bigger trophies in the Europa League, things like that. So I think that's why I was asking, really.
But I think there's no doubt I want to win trophies, we want to do that, but I'm also very aware of where we are. I think it's not that we haven't done everything we could to do what we could achieve this season.
Hi Thomas, you've had 2 very good Champions League wins in 2026, but I think in 6 of the Premier League and the FA Cup games, the teams conceded 2 goals or more. Why is it kind of so easy at the minute for teams to score against your Tottenham team?
I definitely think that the defensive side is something that we would like to be even better at. Especially recently, I think we started the season very well. And it's very, very simple. If you can keep the ball out of the net, then you have a better chance for winning. It's something we are highlighting. It's something we're working on. It's something we are talking about.
And at the weekend, Eddie Howe, you're going to face tomorrow, was talking about how he's got to do better, he's got to do more, even though he knows he's working as hard as possible. Are you kind of having those same conversations with yourself and the coaching staff? You know, do you sort of feel like you're kind of performing at your best right now, or is there more that you can be given?
Yeah, try to find the margins every single day. Try to put the hours in every single day together with the staff, the coaches, if one, to do everything we can to how can you say, get a bit of momentum, because a little bit stop-start. That's what we're working very hard on. So there's only one way, that is head down, do what you believe in, keep going, stay calm.
And you face us regularly in these press conferences, and you know, facing a lot of difficult questions at the minute. Someone you know very well, Johan Lange, has obviously been at the club since 2023 and is in charge of building this squad. And yourself and the manager before have had 2 seasons in a row now where the squad's been decimated by injuries, and there's clearly not been a strong enough squad to cope with the schedule. Is he kind of being, you know, put under scrutiny internally, and should he sort of face more accountability now for the situation 2 years in a row where the squad he has built is not, you know, serving the purpose it's been built for?
I think it's like with me. It's never only one person. It's no, I understand. It's the head coach who gets the most blame when it's not going well, and maybe get a little bit of praise if it's going well. And that's part of the job. So I knew that. I think in my opinion, the way I already have seen, I can't speak about what happened before. Of course, I've inherited a squad and some players. But the way I see it and the way we do it now is that we do things together. So in the September transfer window, it was how can you say, Fabio as a consultant, Johan, Vinay, Daniel, and I. And now this window has been the Lewis family, Vinay, Johan, Fabio, and I. That's been the way the whole time. So it's us that do that.
Finish your section with Jay, please.
Hi, Thomas. I just wanted to ask you about, firstly, Radu Dragusin's qualities, because he's only been available to you over the last month or so. And is he physically ready to play multiple games in a short space of time, having just come back from that ACL?
I think he's done great to come back I thought it was one more game, but anyway, he I'll just try to get the stats right. Anyway, he's looked good. The two games he played, right? I think it's 2 games, yeah. And he looks strong, and I like that. I think as a defender, he's very good. You can just see his alert, his movement, the way he anticipates different situations, the way he tried to do the principles. I really like that, and he's really competitive in every aspect. But he's fine, he's strong, and he's ready to go again tomorrow.
Just on Destiny, he struggled with injuries a lot over the last couple of seasons. He's only just come back from another injury. How do you manage his fitness long term so that he is consistently available?
It's of course an ongoing process to keep building him more and more robust every day. So that just long-term process.
But what does that process look like of making him more robust?
Yeah, but I think it's a combination of different things. It's one, gym work, recovery, training, manage him, game load, all that.
And then just final one from me. Souza made his debut on Saturday against Manchester United. Just wondered what you thought of his performance and just how he's adapted to the club as well.
He did very well. Very happy for him. Coming from Brazil and 19 years old to Tottenham, to Premier League, getting his debut as one of the most iconic stadiums in the world. That's a big thing. So I hope him and his family is proud.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there and move on